Hi there. Hello. My name is Akooji Badat. Today's date is, what date is it today? Wednesday, 29th of October 2014. Wednesday, 29th of October 2014. It's 14:25. That means nearly half two. I'm from Batley taxi rank. There you go. Look, there's some of my colleague taxi drivers there on the taxi rank, main Batley taxi rank. And I'm gonna make a little video for the sake of the taxi drivers, right? Now, just quickly introduce myself. That's me. I stood for the elections last year, and I might stand again this year in May, first Thursday of May 2006. So there's me, independent. I'm very much affiliated to the Labour Party. So my name is Akooji Badat. I'm a taxi driver. I've been a taxi driver for the past 25 years. And as I was sat on the rank, I just received this, which is, I believe, some lads from Huddersfield. They came to see me. It's an ongoing thing. I'll just quickly read out. We, the undersigned taxi drivers, both Hackney and private hire, are unhappy and against the recent penalty point system that has been put in place. This will impact on our livelihood, burdening the benefit system even further. We call upon the council and the licensing and safety committee to reconsult the policy. We would also like you to review and abolish the appointment system at the licensing department, as this is clearly not working in a timely fashion. We would also urge you to review allowing use of the bus lanes for taxi drivers, bringing this council in line with within West Yorkshire. So anyway, this video is addressed to Hackney. Myself, I'm a Hackney carriage taxi driver for past 25 years, and I represent the Hackney carriage taxi drivers as well as the private hire. Right? Although I'm a Hackney taxi driver, majority of the things that's linked to the taxi driver is basically same. The only thing we quarrel about is, private hire picked up from taxi rank, he shouldn't have, he picked up this flag down. But 90%, 95% of the private hire taxi traders are wonderful people, good people. Same with the Hackney carriage, and the lawbreakers, and I don't support them. So let me get that out of the way. But I support Hackney and private hire. I represent both. I'm the chairman of a local mosque called Snowden Street Mosque. Like I say, I was the cabbie of the year in year 2012. Second best cabbie of the year in the whole of the UK. And this is because of the good works that I do. I'm not boasting about it, by the way. So anyway, just quickly talking, I've got a little bit of time, so I thought I'd make a little video and post it to all of you. For the attention of the taxi drivers, Hackney and private hire within the Kirklees Council, in particularly the Kirklees Council, and for the Taxi Licensing and Safety Committee, and for the subcommittee, and for all the councillors. Now remember, I stood for election, so I know a little bit about what the councillors' jobs are and what they're not. The councillors do get paid, and they get paid a handsome wage, and if they're chairing something, the subcommittees or anything like that, they get extra money. Taxi drivers, they are hard hit these days, and I think it's time you lot realise this. Right, now, what's this about the 9 points? Recently, the taxi subcommittee passed a resolution to say that if we get 9 points now, we have to go through the whole system. Why we? Why we have to go through the whole system? What about you councillors? Can we have a referendum on councillors? Can we have a referendum on other Kirklees workers? The Licensing and Safety Committee works for and licenses the pubs and all kinds of different entertainment departments. Why always taxi drivers? 98% of the taxi drivers are from the ethnic minority, mainly Indians and Pakistanis, mainly Muslims, and I have respect for Indians, Muslims, Christians, especially our Sikh brothers from the Huddersfield area, and we respect each other. Now, the subcommittee that governs us, right, often govern us on the basis of a report being prepared by the licensing, possibly Kath and Mr. Prescott or whoever, and then it gets presented at the subcommittee meeting after consultation. The consultations, although they're told that yes, we did have consultation with the taxi trade, but it's a trick. It's a bit of a fleeky one, that. Same with this 9-point thing. Well, Kath did send us reports out, but the thick reports, nobody really reads them. If you wanted to pass something like this, you should have consulted us. Why didn't you consult us? Why didn't you consult us? And then it goes through, and it goes through on a basis of racism. I'm very careful when I use the word racism, because I don't like to use the cards of racism. But at the moment, the current situation is Mumtaz Hussain is the chairman of the subcommittee that governs the license, mainly the taxi drivers. Now, him and another Asian councillor didn't vote for this to go through. The others did. So the others, councillors that usually vote for this, usually come from the wards that don't have any Asian community. So more than likely, they don't have to worry about votes. So all this system of how these things go through is partly linked to racism. Now, if I was to complain to the ombudsman don't have the resources. I'm not saying they're bad. They are good people, but they haven't got the resources. And Kirklees Council does not have a complaint procedure. If you think you can con me into saying that you've got a procedure, you're joking, because it's a complete fob-off thing. I've experienced it many times in the past, and more than likely I will in the future. They give you one of these fob-off stories. We haven't got a complaint procedure. Get that clear, KMC. So that's the first thing we'd like to go. We can make a lot of noise, like, Gandhiji and Jiaji said, there's a lot of us. And people like me do know how to unite everybody. We do know, but reluctantly we move on. We move on. And we want, we basically want peace and harmony. We want to earn our taxi living. We want the licensing officers to get on with it, etc., etc. I'm first now, I better move down. Anyway, to finish off, is also saying here that the bus lanes should be taxi lanes. You're right. If you go in Leeds, bus lane, bike lane and taxi lane. Round about Wakefield and Kirklees, why not? If I went to London, I went to all over, it's taxis, buses and bicycles. Why not in Kirklees? Right, the other thing I wanted to talk about very quickly, because I'm running out of time, is the appointment system. All of a sudden, where does this appointment system come from? Has there been a great increase in taxis? Right. So why is there appointment system? How come since Kath came and Mr. Prescott came, all these things are sort of lured in by trickery or mockery, one way or the other, going through the taxi licensing committee and stamping it on and passing it through? Why is it that taxi drivers are easy bait for everybody? We don't have to. People like me have got the capacity to unite all the taxi drivers down, have a peaceful protest for several days if possible. That would cost police a lot of money for the operation. It could also even trigger the EDL to do a counter protest and cost thousands and thousands of pounds. But we don't want to do that. We want you to listen to us. We want you, the council, to listen to us. We don't want any of these indirect, basic, racist tactics. Although racism never exists at the forefront, does it? It's all indirectly and basically. Kath Walters is a good lady. My son calls her mother. But eventually and ultimately there is a constitutional racism. And that racism, for example, when Mr. Exley from the BNP party was a councillor, he was actually put in as part of the, licensing and subcommittee. Now, the law clearly says you can't do that. And people like me have been reading up on it. But you're voting in favour of it. So, constitutional-wise, yes, Kirklees is racist. Now, we've got a lot of Asian councillors. They should be part of this. And we should be part of it as well. Talking quickly as to the rare plates. Some time ago, rare plates were introduced. We now have to pay for them, and we now have to renew them and refit them every year. Why? We have to pay about 15 quid. Where's all the revenue gone? Why aren't I getting the accounts which by law I should be getting? Now, if there's enough money after the income and expenses, we would like a person that would cater for the complaints or etc. for the taxi drivers. Now, why is taxi drivers and market service and all mingled in and then accounts? I'm pretty certain that our money is utilized for other purposes, and when it shouldn't be. Right. Now the other point I wanted to make very quickly was the taxi drivers' wages. Taxi drivers aren't getting anything. They're even probably, here's my accounts, look. There's a whole year's accounts here. There's a whole year's accounts here, and I can guarantee you, bring whoever you want to me and I'll show you, I'll prove to you that we're not even getting £2 an hour. We're not even getting, some weeks we get £2 an hour. When I come to work, say 9 o'clock in the morning and finish 5 o'clock at night, right? I'm working, if I worked in a factory, I'd get, what's the minimum wage that the Labour Party, that the national government has said? I think it's about £6.50 an hour. We're not getting anywhere near that. And then you're saying we're self-employed. Why is it that I'm self-employed when I'm given a card by a firm? Now, our firm is a very small firm. We just work on friendly terms. When I'm given a card like this, why do I have to work by that card? Why aren't we doing anything about it? It's a long story. To cut a long story short, we're not self-employed. We're partly employed by Kirklees. If I was a self-employed person, why can't I use a 3-door car? I'm self-employed. That's my business. But you won't allow it, will you? The council won't allow it because of the bylaws. So why isn't there bylaws to protect us? Why isn't the TUC doing anything? You know, the TUC wants members. We could easily become members, but would you really fight for us? Would you really have a say with us? Would you really have the clout? So there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I thought I'd make a 10-minute... What time is it now? I thought I'd make about... I think it's been 11 minutes. I better go now because my boss will be shouting for me. But thank you very much. Bye. Khuda Hafiz.